Okay, now there is actually, from what I've heard, there is actually a bad ending to this game, which supposedly if you spend more than X ridiculous amount of time, you will lose and it'll just give you the standard game over screen. However, I would prefer to imagine it as the game over screen from Banjo-Kazooie. For all those of you who are familiar with that, I want you to mentally substitute Gruntilda for Dracula, I want you to mentally substitute Tooty for Ada, and have the person who walks out at the machine once it's been set to be Soma. And keep all the dialogue the same. I'm sure it would be far more amusing than it sounds. I don't know who you'd make the witch doctor guy, Hammer or something. What? Leave me alone. Okay, now, for some reason the clock has stopped. It's stuck on about 3:30. I don't know what the excuse this is, and we've got this ridiculously zoomed out camera and clock tower key E here, which will lead us through that lockable door which I kept looking at earlier in a suspicious manner. So, now that we've got that, we don't need these handrails anymore. To hell with you, OSHA! Hey! So, over there we go, and we get into the last new section. This is actually the last room in the level, however, through here is the last new room in the level. It's very different. It's a different concept, you see. So, through this door, and in this room they will actually make us focus on the fact that we can jump ridiculously far and grab onto ledges that we really shouldn't be able to, because there is a jump that is entirely dependent on this concept. I really don't think they should be hanging a lampshade on that, but still, never mind. Right, there's nothing through there. It's a big disappointment for all the family, so let's look up here. This is where we're going, you see, with these flamethrowers attempting to outfox us, but we're a wolf, so they can't. Way. So, over onto that cog, we have got to make a difficult jump. Good grief. Not the flamethrower there, and yeah, you can't make that jump normally. It's impossible. You have to abuse the ledge grabbing mechanics. It doesn't strike me as the best thing for them to be pointing out, but still, given the rest of this game, being that ridiculous at this point really doesn't seem all that bad at all. So, let's hack away at this thing, pick that up, and then we can proceed onward across these various platformity block things. Now, in all fairness, these sections are at least quite inventive, but they put a fucking shimmying platform in here just to annoy everyone in the universe, and what's more, they put it in here with a flamethrower designed to toast Cornell's nuts. The most fearsome thing that all men fear, having their balls toasted with fire. Better watch out, Cornell, otherwise your peanuts will be in jeopardy. Ooh, I better go across here a lot faster than I am. Oh, I'm safe and free now. I can move really slowly again. Yeah, and I imagine they want you to shimmy past the two flamethrowers over there, which have an absolutely minute gap between them, but that's idiotic, and so we're not going to. We are instead going to cheat at them, because they haven't really given us any reason not to. So we will save here, and then we will try to make this jump, which you actually can't make, over to here. There we go. Fuck that. We're back on there. So rather than shimmying across there as they no doubt wish in order to make us go completely insane, as long as you wait for the second one to go off, as it just has done, and make the jump then, you can get all the way across here without using the shimmying platform, and it makes the whole thing a whole hell of a lot easier. So we have, hooray, up here, and we're nearly out of this section. Then there's just one more section of the level, and we're done! Woo! We are nearly freed from the awfulness. Now, what? Okay, we've got a rotating thing which appears to be made of caltrops sellotaped together. We've got a rotating gear, and we've got a flamethrower. It's a combination of traps so dastardly that it's literally never going to turn up in anything again ever, because it's idiotic and stupid. I have no idea what part of a clock tower this is supposed to be, so let's ignore it and proceed onward. Here we go. Hey. And there's the door. We've made it out of this section. Now, the next section, to give it credit, is actually quite clever. I like it a lot, but that doesn't mean it isn't frustrating and stupid, because it tends to injure you a lot. Okay, we've got half pendulums, because we can't have full pendulums due to physics, and if we were to drop down there, we could get ourselves a roast chicken and a roast beef, but then we would have to repeat the previous section again, unless you go back from the last section of this area, which has a lift in it, but that's silly as well, so let's not do any of that. Here we go. There's some more swingy thingies, and you can see there's a ramp over there. Now, what's that all about, you're thinking? A ramp? What criminality? Well, let's go and take a look at it, shall we? Okay, so wait one more swing, and whee! Over we go. Make a way along these narrow platforms of death and doom and jeopardy. The lift is, as you can see, there's a lift run there where we were just standing. And we sneak along here, trying not to disturb the giant crabs that lurk beneath. They're invisible, you see, and thus much more threatening than regular crabs. Right, down there you can see a small bar. Now our duty is to land on it, because this is a slippery slope. It's a logical fallacy, and Cornell doesn't want anything to do with it. Were we to fall through any of the gaps in that, the flaws in our argument would be detected. There you go, so that's how you make it down the slippery slope. Now you know more about debating. So there's a power-up in that torch we just walked past, but you have to jump off here and then do the slippery slope again if you want to get it. Or I suppose you could go the other way and grab the chickeny things. But we don't need a power-up, and so the whole thing is pointless. Anyway, we have now reset the clock to the wrong time, and we can now escape this level. This thing was working a minute ago. I have no idea why it's not working now. It's obviously broken down at an effervescent rate. That is not how you use that word. Do not think it is, not for 1 minute, sir. So, we've made it out. We can just save the game here, and then we are quickly going to use a sun card because it will make Dracula a lot easier in the next video, which will be posted tomorrow. And yes, I'm going to use progressively less stupid definitions of tomorrow, don't you know? So, up here we go. Even Dracula's even sending graphic artifacting against us, the bastard. Here we go, sun card. Now, the Dracula battles that are coming up, I have cut out most of the first Dracula battle because you've seen it all already. I have cut out most of the Ascent because you've seen all that already, and the Renon cutscene is pretty much exactly the same. But the new form of Final Dracula is different, as you will see, and you will like it, I'm sure. You will probably mock it too, but that's not the point. So, we're pretty much out of here, we have made it out of the level, and here we are at the start of the Ascent to Castle Keep. I've been Evil Tim, and this has been Castlevania Legacy of Stupid.